This will be video number 1 on how to do U substitution using calculus. Basically, the idea behind U substitution is that sometimes integrals look messy because of how we do derivatives with the chain rule. If we could figure out a way to undo the chain rule, we could probably make the integral look a whole lot easier, which would make our jobs better and easier to accomplish. So some of the questions that come up are, what about the constants? Which ones do we need? We know sometimes the chain rule adds additional constants in. Do I need a 5? Do I need a 1/5? Do I need a 2? Do I need a 1/2? Another question that comes up then is the entire chain rule there present, accounted for? If not, what can we do about that? So if we can make a substitution, we can sometimes take these hard-looking integrals and make them look a whole bunch easier. So now I'm going to kind of briefly outline the process for you, and then we'll take a look at it in a couple subsequent videos about how it actually works in a problem. So here goes the process. We want to choose u to be an inside function, like inside as though we were talking about the chain rule. And we want to find something that looks like it's inside of something else. We'll let u be that inside function. Next, we need to find du. After all, we're making a substitution here, so we're taking our problem from x's, turning everything into u's. And then we'll see if the full du is there in the problem. If the difference is something like a constant, a 2, a 5, a 1/2, something along those lines, we can make that up because we know sometimes constants combine with other constants and then they might change their appearance a little bit. The part we need to be most concerned about, though, are all the variables present and accounted for. Step 3, rewrite the integral so that there are no x's left at all. We want everything to be in terms of u. We want the integrand, we want the du, we want everything to be in terms of u. No more x's. Then we'll actually integrate in terms of u. So we'll do the antiderivative, reverse the power rule, whatever the problem calls for. And then at the end, since the problem had x's in it at the beginning, we need to substitute back so that we give an answer that has x's in it, just like the original problem. Okay. This star, if you were wondering about this star up here at the beginning, if we can also find for u a part whose derivative is present, even better. Even better. That's kind of like the gravy on top. Okay. So there's the process. Take a pause here so that you can jot this down, and then we'll get back at it with one of the first examples in your packet in just a moment. So find the page in your packet that says U Substitution Classwork. This should be in your Chapter 7 that you received already. If not, don't worry, there's a PDF version of it posted in Classroom as well. We're going to try to do the odd problems here in Classwork as examples. A couple of them I have sort of blocked off so that we can go through one step at a time, and then a couple of them I just have the answers so that you can try and you can check and you can see how you did. The first one I'd like to do here is number 1, the integral of x times the quantity of x squared minus 1 to the 5th power dx. Certainly looks a little bit complicated for us to try to just do it because we recognize what it is. Like it's obviously something. I don't think that's the case. So let's trot out U substitution and let's see what we can do. What I notice here is I've got this inside piece, this x squared minus 1, that is inside of the 5th power. That might be a good candidate for our u. So if we let u equal x squared minus 1, the next step in the process was to figure out what du looks like. So literally I'm taking the derivative of this line right here, sort of implicit style. The derivative of u will become du. The derivative of x squared minus 1 will be 2x dx. I want to make sure everything is sort of present and accounted for and all the variables are figured out. So what I notice now in looking at my du, I need to have 2x dx. Well, right here I've got x, and right here I've got dx. I've got the variable satisfied. I don't have this coefficient here, but that's a constant. And I said we can always sort of make up for the constants later as we need to. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take this 2, I'm going to divide both sides of my equation here and get it on the other side where du is. So I've got 1/2 du equals x dx. Now I've got myself a nice clean substitution. I can replace the two parts here in red, the x and the dx, with a 1/2 and a du. So here's my 1/2. It's a constant, so I just immediately moved it out in front of the integral. And then here's my du. Now I've got this other part here where I have this quantity raised to the 5th power. Well, the quantity is what became u, so that becomes u to the 5th. By the time my substitution's complete, I've got 1/2 the integral of u to the 5th du. This is the same structure as what we had over here in our original, but this looks much easier to integrate. Now all we need to do is to reverse the power rule. I'm going to add 1 to the power. I'm going to divide by the new power. It gets me 1/2, that was out in the front, multiplied by 1/6 u to the 6th plus c. I'm almost done. I'm right about there, except I have to go back and resubstitute, take u out of my equation, and replace it with the x that we had originally. So that's going to mean my final answer will be 1/12 the quantity of x squared minus 1 to the 6th power. And then, of course, plus c, since it's an antiderivative. The next one I'm going to go to is number 3. Maybe give the video a quick pause here and you try it on your own. And then if you get stuck, come back and see where I left off. Hopefully you made it all the way through number 3, but if not, here's how my steps would go. There's not a lot to look at here in example 3, but we do have a piece that's inside. This 5x minus 2 is inside of a square root. So that's going to be my choice for u. u equals 5x minus 2. I'm going to figure out what du looks like. Du is simply just going to be 5 dx. Now I don't have a 5 up here, but I also don't have any variables or anything like that to worry about. I'm going to do what I did previously and kind of get the dx by itself to make for a clean substitution. So I'm going to divide the 5 over 1/5 du is equivalent to dx. So when I go to make my substitution now, this part that's under the radical, that becomes u, and then the dx gets replaced with a 1/5 du. So here's what that looks like. Here's my u to the 1/2 instead of being the square root. I rewrote it as the 1/2 power since reverse power rule's on the way. And then I replaced the dx at the end with 1/5, again, just automatically moved out into the front. I'll deal with that later, times du. Now, nothing to it but to reverse the power rule. So I'll add 1 to the power, and then I'll divide by the new power. So when I add 1, I get 3/2. Divide or multiply by the reciprocal. Here's my 2/3. 1/5 tagging along in the front. We now have plus c on the back. Put it all together with these coefficients out here and resubstitute all at the same time to come up with a final answer of 2/15 times the quantity of 5x minus 2 to the 3/2 plus c. And of course, we could check that by taking the derivative and fully utilizing the chain rule, and we would find out that this, our original integrand, is right where we end up. So try the rest of these odd examples here. I do have a couple of the other ones worked out. So pause the video, try to see if you can come up with those answers, come back and check and see how it went. Here's my work for problems number 5 and 7. Some u substitution again. Number 5, my u was the inside function, the x squared minus 2. It's inside plus the derivative of the x squared minus 2 part has an x in it, and that's sitting right out here in the front. That's one of the things that I'm going to look for when I try to do a u substitution. I still had an extra coefficient out here. I divided that to the other side. And then when I substituted, again, I put that coefficient right out in the front automatically and worked on reversing the power rule for the rest. In 7, some stronger clues. Not only was the 2x squared minus 1 inside of a radical, but it was also inside the denominator. And its derivative is going to be 4x, and I do have the x sitting right up here. So this is a perfect setup for u substitution. Everything's working out just the way that I'd like. Got this extra 4. That's not part of my integrand, so I'll divide that to the other side. And that tells me my coefficient out in the front is going to be a 1/4. I rewrote the u part with a negative exponent so that I could reverse power rule. When you add 1, remember you're going to get 2/3, and then when you divide or multiply by the reciprocal, it becomes 3/2. And then don't forget at the end to resubstitute, and don't forget your plus c. 9, that one's coming up last here on the page. 9, you can see I've got a few more boxes here. But I do have an inside part. This x squared plus 4x minus 3 is inside of a radical, so that's going to be my choice for u. When I go to take the derivative of that, du is 2x plus 4 dx. And on first look, I don't have 2x plus 4, I have x plus 2. But I'm just off by a factor of 2. If I take this common factor of 2 from 2x plus 4, now I've got x plus 2 as a quantity in dx, which I have in my original at the beginning and the end. It's just this 2 that I have to figure out what to do with, and hopefully by now you know we're going to divide that to the other side. And this 1/2 then will become the coefficient that's out in the front of my integral. And all of a sudden, this integral that looked very complicated just a moment ago now doesn't look so bad at all. It looks very, very basic. And that's the whole point of u substitution. Take things that look hard and try and make them look a lot easier. Get rid of some of the unnecessary mess that just makes it look hard. Make it look a little easier. Boil it down to its base elements. Then we can reverse the power rule, and then we can resubstitute. Hopefully this helps you figure out how u substitution is going to work. I'm also going to post a bunch of links to Khan Academy videos. If you're going to watch those, you might want to bump the speed up, because I find at least that Sal Khan takes a long time to make his point. But then again, I guess I do sometimes too. Hopefully it helps. I'll be online soon to answer your questions. Thank you.